أعزائي أعضاء الجمعية القبابية العربية، جمعية القباب الفلكية العربية، شكرا اليوم لاجتماعكم معنا. كما عودناكم في لقائنا الشهري، اليوم عندنا لقاء مع بلانتاريان، وهو الأستاذ توماس كراب، وكان مشكورا قبل دعوة مجلس إدارة الجمعية لهذه المحاضرة اليوم. توماس كراب أعتقد الكثير منكم يعرفه شخصيا أو يعني يعرفه بالاسم. اسم مرموق قديم في عالم القباب الفلكية، وهو كان أحد الرؤساء السابقين للاتحاد الاتحاد العالمي للقباب الفلكية IPS اختصارا. وهو كذلك عمل لفترة طويلة في إدارة قبة هامبورغ في ألمانيا. توماس ألماني، وهي تعتبر أحد أكثر القبب تطورا في أوروبا. فاليوم عندنا لنستمع محاضرة مفتوحة. توماس يرغب أنه نعطيه قد ما فينا من الأسئلة، وسيبدأ هو بمحاضرته المفتوحة، وبعدها ستكون فترة للنقاش والحوار. فتفضل توماس. I introduced you to the community. It's your time. Go ahead with your presentation. We are listening to you.
Salam alaikum. Thank you so much. This is such a great honor to talk to you all. And I would love to meet you in person, and I hope in the future I can do that. I'm like you, I'm a planetarian and I love what I'm doing. You love the sky and the universe, and we all also love the people. No, sorry, it doesn't. My presentation doesn't work somehow. Hello? Okay. And I started, well, 100 years ago. Planetarium was launched 100 years ago in Munich, in my former hometown. I'm born near Munich in Germany, Munich near the Alps, and the Deutsches Museum in Munich was the inspiration for me in the planetarium. And see, this is an old picture of Deutsches Museum in the 1920s when the first planetarium opened. And this first planetarium, not 100 years ago, but more than 50 years ago, inspired me to become a planetarian. I'm an astrophysicist, and my first planetarium where I was as a professional was in Stuttgart with a traditional huge star projector, this big machine, the Planetarium Stuttgart. I was 10 years at the Planetarium Stuttgart, and I learned so much there. And this was a great source of inspiration at this modern planetarium. At that time, it was the most advanced planetarium in Europe in the 1970s and 1980s. But I moved back to Munich, where I became director of a new planetarium, which at that time was really the most advanced planetarium in the world. And it was combined with a film, with a movie theater, with an IMAX theater. And this was a new way of doing planetarium, but with classic technology, a star projector. And then in the year 2000, I could help to plan and to open the first digital planetarium in the world in New York. I worked 4 years for this project, for the first digital planetarium at the Rose Center for Earth and Space in New York, the new Hayden Planetarium, the Hayden Sphere. And this was an inspiration because it was like a virtual reality center, the first fully digital planetarium, and became the rebirth of the planetarium 2.0, as you could call it. So the next level of the planetarium evolution using digital technology. And in the year 2000, I started more than 20 years of my work at Hamburg, in Germany, northern Germany, the Planetarium Hamburg, where I became director in the year 2000, the same time when the New York Planetarium opened. And my dream was to use the same technology to immerse people, to surround people by stories about the universe. And it was and is a planetarium, like many of your planetariums probably are also now, sort of space flight simulators who can take you on trips, on journeys from Earth out into space. And the important thing is, this was not Hollywood or any visual effects only, it was visualization of science. Science is the core of it, is the heart also of what I do. I want to tell people the stories about us and the universe. And it's real data sets from research and real stories, and things happen in real time on the dome. You simulate the universe. But it's not all. My dream always was and is, and it's part of the message. The planetarium is more than just scientific. It has to build bridges into the arts. The arts, it's a medium of art, that's written in German, I apologize. A medium for art. And you see some images here of artists, of grand piano players, of musicians and actors under the starry dome. And we used the planetarium as an ultimate theater. A theater for the mind, for our perception of the universe, telling stories. We are storytellers in the planetarium, and we tell stories around the stars, but also stories about light. Light is our communication tool with the universe. It communicates from remote areas to us on Earth our stories about the universe. But we can use light also as an artistic tool, as a tool to emotionally touch people. And so we use laser to as a show element in the planetarium. And we had in Hamburg, we concepted the biggest laser system in the world for planetariums. And some lasers, as you may see here, are on robots. They are with moving arms. And so the shows can be very spectacular. And it touches people. It really touches people because light can touch you, and you feel you're immersed by light. And so there are shows in the planetarium we did which use light, sound, and even laser light to tell stories. And you see in the center of the dome, there is a classic star projector, this central star ball, and there's people sitting around. It's an immersive space, a social space also for groups, for many people coming together to meet the universe, meet their connection with the universe, to learn about their connection. And the stories are not just facts about the universe, built around facts about the universe, but they also are about the inspiration that the universe creates in our mind. May I ask in between, is everything fine with translation and everything? I hope so. Yes? Okay.
Everything fine for me,
And
yes.
And we had, and I really want to inspire you and try to uh, tell you that it's really important to work with local artists and also big names. Sometimes we had the privilege, and I had the privilege of working with some of the big artists like Jean-Michel Jarre. You may, I hope, and I think you will know him. He is very famous, a French artist, but he is famous in all around the world. He played in China, and everywhere around the world. We did several shows with him, and produced shows with different artists, with Alan Parsons and others. So this is a storytelling device, the planetarium, and the stories can be about the night sky, but they can be about the deep history of us rooted deeply in the stars. And I don't need to tell you this because especially the Arab world, all your countries are you can be very proud about your history because we, Europeans, and the rest of the world, a lot of the world, depend on what you have done thousands of years ago because it's about the the foundation of astronomy in the Arab world, and then we built on that. And so we all come together in telling the stories about the universe, telling stories about archaeological findings about the stars of the pharaohs, about Egypt, about the ancient sky lore, but also about what's happening now about space flight in some shows, or about life originating on Earth and the story of life. These are German titles of shows you may know. Some of them also produced, by the way, by Robin Sipp, with whom we worked a lot. But one thing to consider also, many years ago in 2011, we did this. We did shows with DJs, and we did this, and we're still doing that in the planetarium, but we did it also outside. Please use also the building. And this is mapping the building. We put on the outside of the building, we uh, mapped the building, and this is original footage or filmed from the event. We had about 8,000 people, and we projected on the building, and it's amazing what you can do with an iconic building, which I'm sure you also have beautiful planetarium buildings, and using them as storytelling devices. So think about the outside of the building also, and what you can do to communicate with the building by projecting imagery and other things on the building. So the surrounding of the planetarium is of utmost importance to use it, also to activate the area, to have playgrounds around the planetarium, to have evening events projecting on the planetarium building like we did and many others now also doing. The planetarium itself, I call it always like a cruise ship or for the mind. So we tell stories which we create in our brain, with our brain. We reflect the universe and we go further with it using the arts and science. So it's a cruise ship. We can travel anywhere. And you see some minutes here in the planetarium. It's a time lapse from during a day in the planetarium Hamburg. And you see the typical things that can be done on a planetarium, going around Earth in the universe, or it's a big screen. It projects it projects ideas we have from our head. So I always keep saying the planetarium is round like our head. It's the hemisphere of our head projected on the dome. Everything that's inside our head is you can put on the dome. So the dome is a brain theater, is a mind theater, and we can go anywhere. We can not just go forward or backward, we can go sideways. We can change directions as we decide. And also hopefully change the direction also we are going with our civilization, as we know, because we have to be careful about the future of our young people, of all the generation facing wars and other things and bad habits we learned in our civilization somehow. So we can stick together and embrace us and hold together to face those futures. And here you see me together with Jin Su, the director of Beijing Planetarium, because IPS is our forum for working together, the Arab Planetarium Society, and I'm so happy that you formed this society, is part of IPS, part of this international community. And I'm very proud and happy that I was at the meeting that Omar hosted in Alexandria, Bibliotheca Alexandria. What a wonderful meeting that was, which builds the future of all of us, of the planetarium community. So the planetarium is an earth theater also. This is a concept here of a future planetarium, the outside being activated as a sort of an LED earth, and you go inside to witness the view to the outside. So it's about us, the planetarium, and it's so important and precious, planetarium space. And this combines it in a way, the planetarium, we can use the art, like the violin here, and the cosmonaut, the astronaut. So you see, it's a combination of all we do with our mind and what we plan for the future. In the Planetarium Hamburg, I'm no longer director of the Planetarium Hamburg, but it's one example only, because you are now the future of the planetarium. Your ideas, all the young people, the generation you represent, is the future. And the technology-wise, there will be a lot of new things that can happen in the future of the planetarium. This is a view of Hamburg Planetarium, of the foyer, and you can do concerts with artists and have musical instrument being played live under the stars, and go to Mars or go anywhere. But you need the support, you need the financial support from your community, from the politicians, from your society. So we have to work together to assure that support for all of us and for all of you. And I'm working now for producing shows for planetariums and to help planetariums of the future as a consultant. And I'm very happy to see, especially in the Arab communities, that there are many new ideas, many new planetariums being built, and for future generation, even for the youngest. We premiered, for example, a planetarium show in Europe, which is for newborn citizens, for babies. It's coming from Montreal, Baby Symphonique. It uses symphonic music and beautiful color on color effects and stars on the dome, and newborn babies, a few months old, under the starry sky with their mothers, with their fathers. And it's a beautiful new idea and a show that's playing in Hamburg and in several cities around the world. So many new ideas are there for new target groups, new visitors of the planetarium. So look at what's happening around the world, and we can learn so much from each others. And okay, one example I want to give you, in addition, it's not just the planetarium itself, the dome. I told you about the outside space, the surrounding of the planetarium, the playgrounds, the park around, but also exhibitions you can do, and I'm sure you're doing to touch people, to reach people. We did one here with this guy is famous in Hamburg. He is related to water, and you see his picture in the back. Picture we did of him symbolize a symbol of water and hydrogen. So we put people in context with the elements. So this is the former Lord Mayor and now the Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz. He holds a piece of wood in his hand. Wood that's carbon, mainly carbon. So we did an exhibition about the elements and the origin of the elements in space. And we used pictures like this to build a bridge between people and the sky. Because everything I'm doing and everything I did and we did in planetariums I directed was for the people. The idea was to connect people with the sky and with the stars. It's not about the stars, it's about us. That's the main focus of planetariums. That's my motto, my claim, so to say. We are connected to the stars, we are stars, so let's build easy pictures or pictures how people are related to the stars. So a piece of wood with a famous person like this person here in the background, or other examples. Well, we used famous people to connect them with the stars. So she is a TV expert. She's a TV presenter on the main news in Germany. And so we painted her face with starry sky and photographed her and put her in context with a Hubble picture. So you see, and this guy too. So think about ideas how you can connect people with the sky, with the universe, and make it clear and communicate it in a way even beyond your dome. Picture taking of people who have the imprints of the sky in their face. This was my idea years ago. This guy is a pianist, a very famous one in Germany. So his sound of space, and the background is the explosion, the explosive sound of the universe in the Crab Nebula. So a symbol of sound in the universe. And we used him this is well, okay. So lastly, the planetarium takes us into the future. So invite people into your planetarium who shape the future. We had a lecture series where we visualize the future and where we bring in people who are in the computer business, people who are in shaping the future, like this guy here. And so this was called Zukunftsdenken. So it was a think tank. The planetarium as a think tank for the future of your community, for the future of the society, for the future of all of us on board Spaceship Earth. So it's a laboratory. It's a think tank, as we say, a laboratory of the future. And I hope we can connect for the future. I'm sorry. Yeah. And connect together. Well, that's something I don't want to show. Okay. And connect people, building new devices and new environments where we can put people in together in the context of the cosmos and the future. And these can have different shapes. These can surround you, and the future certainly will be not projecting images. It will be surrounding people or putting people into spaces which have any shape, which are technology-wise being created using LED self-illuminating surfaces which glow by itself, not being projected by a central star machine. So the planetarium will change, but the storytelling requires these spaces and will stay. So the planetarium of the future will still be a storytelling device. I'm sorry, this was... Okay. This, I hope, gave you some ideas. I'm sorry, maybe I had to be too quick and was rushing. I hope the translation worked and I can answer some of your questions. Thank you very much. I need to stop the... Sorry, I can't get... How can I stop the keynote? Okay.
Alexander, you are muted.
Sorry. Thank you, Thomas, very much for this generous presentation. It's wonderful. Whatever you had done with your planetarium, all kinds of activities and concerts, musical and shows inside, outside. That's amazing. What can be done when you have a planetarium and you are in full control of it? Yes. Let's open the door now to the questions from our community. You can raise your hand and we will allow you to unmute yourself to speak and give your question. Marwan, I think you are the moderator, the admin here, so probably you can unmute the people who had raised their hands. It's yourself and Dr. Omar, so go ahead with yourself. Okay. And then...
Thank you very much, Alexander. Thomas, what a great presentation you have delivered. Thank you very much, Thomas, indeed. I liked all what you said about putting the planetarium in the context of the people. It's not the opposite. So we follow the people. We try to do that matching, that very thin matching, very critical matching between people and astronomy and the sky. So putting them in music and being humans, human beings, and also as mothers and babies. And I liked all of that. This is indeed something that the APS, the Arab Planetarian Society, the planetarians here, those are now listening to you, they can maybe implement some of those ideas. For me, in our planetarium, we are now studying to have musical concert under the dome, or piano under the dome. So we are trying to do this with a German guy. I think he is his origin is from Italy, but he is in German. So we are trying to do this, which is really good. Thank you very much. I liked your presentations, and I will not talk much. I will leave the mic to my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's have a question from Basma. تفضلي يا بسمة.
The sound.
خلينا نعطيها رايتس مشان تعمل unmute.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Vielen Dank, Thomas. Okay, thank you very much for this tour. It is beautiful that you liken the head to a projector and that our thoughts are displayed on the screen. And your emphasis on the fact that art is an essential part of the DAM's display. Thank you also for your interest in the humanitarian aspect, especially, unfortunately, with the bloody events that we are experiencing and the thousands of innocent victims in Gaza, with the hope that this horrible time will end soon, inshallah. We hope so. Now, I have two questions. What is the diameter of the largest dam in Germany? And how did your specialist as an astrophysicist specialist, how did this affect your dealings with ordinary or public people? Thank you again.
So thank you. I didn't get the end of your question. How does what the size did you mean? Okay,
yes,
I answered the first part.
Yes. What is the diameter, the biggest diameter of your dam in Germany?
Yeah, the Hamburg is 21 meter in diameter.
100? Excuse me, how much?
21.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
And there's one bigger, two bigger planetariums, slightly bigger. That's Jena and Berlin, 23 meter. 23. So this is the size comparison. But mainly it's not the size, I would say, but there's like small, medium, and large planetariums in Germany. There's about 6 large planetariums and about 5 or 6 mid-size planetariums, and then many smaller planetariums. Okay, but the second you had another question that I didn't fully understand. You asked what was or did I answer everything?
Yes, you are an astrophysicist. Okay,
yes.
So how was that? How does this affect your dealing with ordinary people? You are as a scientist, I mean.
How does it affect my my work?
You're dealing with ordinary people. Yeah.
How does it affect how I deal with people, with normal people, or with visitors, you mean? I think as an astrophysicist, you have like a bigger picture you sometimes, and it's good for all of us. Sometimes if you have a problem, you have to go further back sometimes and look at the whole picture, like whole Earth. And then sometimes it helps you to get an overview, and it helped me to be an astrophysicist. Excuse me. I think I get the context and the connection between what it means for Earth and other planets. So this is interesting, and I think I can tell bigger stories. The biggest story of all, the story of us in the universe, how the universe and us are related. For this, I need to be an astrophysicist. I cannot answer all questions. There is certainly many questions which only I have to have a belief. There is religion and other that complements that. So science is not everything. Science is an important part, an important tool for us for problem solving, but it doesn't solve every problem I see and every problem of mankind, because we need to listen also here and to listen to our heart. So heart and mind are important to solve it. So astrophysicists dealing with people still have a heart, and I think as a planetarian you have to be not just a scientist. You have to have a heart, a big heart, and have a feeling for society and the social community based feeling and attitudes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thomas. Thanks, Basma. I think we have a question now from سمح. سمح, can you ممكن تفضلي سمح بسؤالك؟ طلبت انه تسأل باللغة العربية، فإذا ممكن نفتح لها المايك.
بس وين سمح؟ لحظة.
طيب خلينا ناخذ لكن
اوكي سماح تفضل.
مساء الخير. طبعا
مساء الخير.
شكرا على العرض الجميل. السؤال أنا بصراحة كلش مهتمة بالأطفال، فلفت انتباهي إنه أكو عروض للأطفال عمر سنة، فحابة أعرف عنه أكثر. شنو فائدته بالنسبة لهم، وشون نكون متأكدين إنه هو مثلا دي يستمتعون به ودي يفيدهم، مثلا شنو هم حققوا من عنده. يعني حابة أعرف أكثر عن الموضوع، كلش لفت انتباهي وشكرا.
I didn't hear a translation, or did I? Can you translate?
I think you were in the original audio, not the English. So maybe Alexander, can you translate, please?
Oh, maybe you can, because
yes.
I don't know how to.
Yes. No problem. Don't bother yourself.
I'm sorry.
No
yes. مروان أنا ما كثير فهمت السؤال. إذا تفضل أنت.
Okay. The question I think from Samah. Samah is a planetarian who has a mobile planetarium, small mobile planetarium. مظبوط سماح عندي قبة متنقلة أتوقع. And one of the activities that you shown here that attract her mind, that to have the babies in the planetarium with their mothers. So her question, how can she use, or how can she develop this in her planetarium? I think maybe this is what she wanted to say, to ask. Please.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for your interest in this. This is a program that was developed in Montreal in Canada, and unfortunately it's a bit expensive, but you asked the right question: how can I develop this myself? Because I think you can develop this, and especially with an attitude and the best feeling for your own culture, in your own society, because it will be different than would be probably the European or the Canadian way of doing it. So probably selecting music which would be selection. It's basically important to select music which is calming, which is beautiful, and which puts people in maybe a little bit of curiosity. So you can and then visuals. It could be colors up there. It could be all different things on the dome. But a third thing, I may suggest to you that it's possible to contact the people who produced it and maybe at least get some support, and I can help you with that. Because maybe it's possible to learn, and I think it's possible to develop your own show and use some of the colors or elements like they had in the show, because it's good. It's always important to adapt and create it in a way that it appeals to your audience. So it's not so easy, but I think you can do it, and it depends on how big the dome is, how you work and help families, because they need to be able to leave the show. During the show, it can't be dark, really. It will be a sort of a twilight atmosphere here. So my suggestion that we communicate via email. Unfortunately, it can only be in English then. And I try to help you with that and provide some ideas, some suggestions, and put you in contact also with the relevant people. I hope that helps you.
Alexander.
Okay, perfect. Let's take comment or question from our friend Omar.
Thank you, Alexander. Hi, Thomas. Thank you for your short and condensed presentation. It's a short presentation, but includes a huge and long experience in Blantyrian community. I have two questions concerning the last month. We make a small workshop about the challenges and the problem facing the Blantyrian inside the Blantyrian. I would like to ask you if you have had one of challenges or problem facing you during working in the Blantyrian with the visitors or with audience in the Blantyrian. Of course, in European culture, it's different completely from Arab one, but needed to know from your huge experience what is the basic or the biggest problem facing you or your life during working in the Blantyrian. The first question. Second one is personal for you after you retired from Hamburg Blantyrian. What you are planning in the Blantyrian community to do? And that's it. And I'd like to thank you again, Thomas, for accepting our invitation.
It's such a pleasure, Omar, because you have been the spearhead, and you advanced this years ago already at the IPS conference in Bibliotheca Alexandria, and everybody loved that conference and were so impressed by the hospitality. And I tell you, the beauty of the culture of the Arab world and its culture and cultures, it's like a multitude of things. and many and thousands of years old, some of them, but it's evolving amazingly in different regions of the continent, of your continent, and it's simply amazing. And but it poses also problems, certainly, and there is a large difference, there's a huge difference between planetariums, even in one region or in one continent. That's always challenging. But the biggest problem, well, is there a biggest problem? There are always some problems or challenges for each of us. I think always a challenge is to stay, to reach the audience, to really continuously reach the audience and make them come back, so that they come back, that they not visit the planetarium only once, but they repeat visitors. We want people, and that was my feeling, that usually people visit the planetarium twice in their lifetime. Once they are kids, and the second time when they have kids and they bring their own kids in the planetarium. So twice, or even when they are grandparents, maybe a third time, but up to 3 times in their own life. We have to change that and continuously promoting the planetarium and marketing the planetarium, getting visitors, attendance, stabilizing the attendance or raising the attendance. That was always the challenge. I mean, it can be a problem. During COVID, you had no visitors, and we had to invent new things, and we had to invent new marketing tools, new symbols, new communication ways to communicate, and to put the planetarium in the focus and in the mind of the people. So that's why I'm saying it's important to tell people what a planetarium really is, and to have a good to not tell them, oh, it's too scientific, it's very complicated, and so on, but that it's something that's inspiring, that's for the heart also, that it's emotional also, it's beautiful, it's about beauty, and it's a beautiful experience. That's most important to make clear to different generation and to the next generation. And currently there is a change again, and I see that in recent years after COVID, it's really difficult to get people again to create audiences, to bring the audience back in the planetarium, because they have the electronic media. They no longer go to places. They look on their screens. They use smartphones. They use VR, virtual reality, and other things. So that's why you need to stress group immersive, social structures, families, friends, groups of friends, maybe have weddings in the planetarium, have birthdays, celebrations, certain form of events in the planetarium to bring new audiences in the planetarium, and to continuously fight for new audiences, to see who hasn't been to the planetarium before. So that's how we did it, and we had every year 300,000 visitors in a city that has 2 million inhabitants. Hamburg has 2 million people, and we had in the planetarium 300,000 every year, which was very good for 20 years. All the time I was there, we had a huge amount, between 300 and 400,000. So it's good to have a stable visitation, except during COVID. And in the future, I'm no longer with the Planetarium Hamburg, but I'm working as a consultant. I'm producing new shows. For example, with Peter Pop in Munich, I work together with friends. And I love to work with you to help people like you. It's not everything is money. I mean, certainly I have to live, but don't worry. I love to connect with you because you have ideas. You have new ideas in Africa. The African continent with the Arab countries is the future, I think. You have areas. I know there's a big contrast, like the Gulf states and the region like Dubai and Saudi Arabia and so on. But there's amazing new planetariums are being built, but there need to be bridges being between the countries to elevate all of your countries, all of your planetariums. And I think this association is so important for that. And I'd love to continue to communicate with you and to come and visit you, because I will learn, and the whole planetarium community will learn from you also, because I know when you listen carefully in your and you speak up, then you will see, and you already know you have many good ideas and many untold stories. So please don't be shy and don't stop with what you're doing now, and please continue and learn from each other and tell your friends what you are doing, and I would love to learn from you and everything I know also tell you, and so we can learn together for a better future. And I know how hard it is, and you mentioned the war, and I'm really with the people, and I hope that everything will work out for the better. And when I was in Alexandria, I mean, this is one example, and there are many more examples for the future of the Arab Planetarium Society, and for all what you want to do.
Thank you, Thomas. Alexander.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Omar. I don't think we have raised hands now. I have a question, Thomas. I asked you it before. I'm curious about the usage of the laser system in your planetarium. I mean, the laser projection and the normal digital projection, there is a principal difference here. How are you managing to have these two kinds of shows together, especially that with laser you will need a fog machine? The fog will have a different impression of how the image is perceived in the planetarium. Can you tell us about your laser shows, your laser system, a little bit technically? It's interesting how you are organize these kind of shows in your planetarium.
Oh, thanks for the question, Alexander, but I hope I can answer it in a short. I started using laser already in the early 1990s with Munich Planetarium. It's laser, it's two kinds of use of the laser. One is like beam shows where you use fog machines, where you really touch people with light. So it's a theater of light, the planetarium, and it's very emotional with a laser beam. If you're in a beam show, that if there's fog, the fog dissolves quickly, and a special fog we use, and you have to be careful. This fog does not affect the lenses of the projectors and of the star machine, and also of the video and computer projectors. So you have to use a special fog. This is not has no condensation on the lenses. That's what we do. You get that fog, a specified fog. I mean, it's not only available in Germany, but you have to be careful. Not every fog you can use. But if you use that, it's no problem. And also for breathing, it's not a problem. It's not dangerous. And I've been breathing for 20 years in laser shows. But the other thing is on the dome. Yes, if you have fog, you don't see much of the stars. But the combination with it can be amazing, because you still can see the stars.
The beam,
and
yes.
dissolves because you can see it because and it adds a different layer, like a sense of depth, of deep space to the laser show. But you cannot combine astronomical show with the beam show, laser beam show. That you shouldn't do. But for an artistic show, you can combine stars and laser. And also you can draw on the dome a graphic laser show, which is beautiful. So it's like a paint box, the laser, but like a laser graphics show. That you can do in addition. So the combination of laser graphic on the dome, projection of video and projection of stars with a beam show is possible, but you need to be safe. You need to have safety codes you fulfill. It can be dangerous, a beam show, if you hit the eyes and if it's not controlled. You need to stay above the head in most of your laser show. Only have a special codes, special rules you follow. You can go into the eyes of the people, but that's possible too. But only have a specialist of laser technology who measures the laser beams. And the laser system we use has cameras who check the laser beams every time. So several times per second, the laser beam, so it automatically shuts off if there is any dangerous within fractions of a second. So, but that can be expensive to have. So laser equipment can be expensive if you use it in combination with the star projectors, because you have several recommendations you need to follow technical to safeguard people.
This camera is used to cut the laser when it goes below a specific level, or
in different countries there are different rules. For example, what we do in Germany, you can't do in the United States. It's not allowed there. They are strictly against using laser hitting the eyes of people. But in Germany, you can, a specific laser that's kind of, the strength is, you have to be below a certain level and below a certain amount of laser light that hits your eye within a certain time span. And that is measured by experts every year in the theater. And it's coded, it's specially approved then for this theater. So it's a procedure, and I don't know how the procedure will be in different Arab states, for example, is what the ruling would be. But you have to be careful not to destroy the eyes. And we can do it, but it's not dangerous. And we are not the only planetarium in Germany. We started that in Munich, and then Hamburg, and now Berlin, Heilbronn, Jena, and others also use similar laser equipment. And it's beautiful. It's very beautiful, but you can also do it outdoor or in other contexts.
Yeah, Thomas, can
nice.
you allow me, Alexander, to comment on this one? Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, of course.
Yeah, Thomas, this is indeed, it's a good experience you have with laser. And also in my planetarium and also previous planetarium, I used laser for total of about 16, 17 years. Laser shows inside the planetarium. Yeah, they should be indoor laser projectors, as Thomas mentioned, and also specific gas, which is haze fluid in particular,
Haze,
not
yeah.
not normal fog machine.
Yes.
Should be hazer
Haze.
to use. Yes, and very special fluid for that, very light and special one that will not affect the lenses, with the breathing, as he said. Now, in here, the laser has to be above the level of human eyes, so the kids cannot see. We don't have cameras or detectors to check if the laser is hitting eyes or not. But even the rule, I think, does not allow even this. So yet. So what we do here, we show the laser just above the audience, say above 2 meters from the level of my tilted planetarium. So it shows beautiful, shows indeed beautiful beams and graphics as well. We got 5 laser projectors. One is the graphical, the center, and 2 birds of beamers. So that's indeed is recommended if you have the budget, everyone, to have this inside your planetarium would be really great idea, very attractive for the kids, and also, as Thomas said, so if you would like to add, I would add also some activities, maybe birthday parties. This is one of the activities that you can do. Let me say it in Arabic. فبتقدروا تعملوا عندكم احتفالات بالميلاد، تجيبوا الأطفال وأهاليهم يعملوا البيرثدي، الميلاد وإشي، وتعملوا هاي الأشياء الليزر البسيطة يعني. thank you Thomas, great idea indeed.
Pleasure. May I add to this? It's not me who invented laser in the planetarium. Just to don't get a wrong impression. I learned it from my visits in the United States in the 1980s. I saw laser shows in New York and other places. Yes. And I felt, wow, this would be fantastic to do. But we did it different, with beam shows and using artists and working with artists together, Jean-Michel Jarre, Alan Parsons, and so on. So I'm sure you have artists, not just for laser shows, but for other shows, like beautiful ornaments. When I think about Arab art and buildings, mosaic, and so on. And if you project, for example, mosaics of your culture on the dome, it would be fantastic. It's beautiful to immerse people with your culture, with your feelings, with stories, and you see, working with artists is so nice. And laser is one beautiful element to draw, to create new art forms. And now we have digital arts in many respects, and now with the dome, who is like a big curved screen. It's a big screen, and anything can happen on that screen, anything, but it should be wisely chosen. Not that it's like a movie theater only. And I'm totally against calling Planetarium a movie theater, because people think, it's just another movie. No, it's a theater. What's happening is happening with the people. So it's together with the people. So it's an interactive space, and people, and there should be hopefully also a live person there, somebody who guides you, somebody who helps you, and maybe a storyteller, maybe an actor, maybe a musician, or maybe a group of people. Sometimes it's only a voice coming from beyond the dome. like a narrator, but sometimes it's really important to get the human element in there and to state it's different from a movie theater. And the new technologies, Alexander, you are one of the people, one of the persons who is working with wonderful company, and there are others too. There is so many tools. It's like a paint box now you can use, but it's really the story. It's really what you want to tell, what's in here, in your heart, in your mind. And you think about the people, how you tell it, so that people react and really feel good. Like babies coming into a room, think about the music and the sound which will make them feel good, make them curious, maybe to add to the question. Think how you can make people feel comfortable in the planetarium. That's the key thing to do in the planetarium. People need to feel comfortable and then you can change the atmosphere slowly. Take them into the unknown. Take them somewhere else by means of transforming this whole space. And you have the power with the new technology, transform it. And they are on the moon. They're inside a beautiful building in your country, or they fly to the Red Sea or the Nile River or to any other place, to the on your continent or beyond, or to Mars. And you don't lose the people. Think about how they feel in certain moments, and not telling them too much information. Just let them breathe, let them react to what they see. Think about the emotion. Music is very important for that. And for babies, the presence of their father, of the mother, the father, and that they feel good. The temperature is important of the dome. It needs to be a little warmer for small kids, maybe. And when they walk in, a beautiful atmosphere, and then it evolves. It may also be faster at some points in the show. Even for babies, there can be some surprise elements on the dome. There's huge stars appearing or small stars, and the music changing. So this is kind of think about how you would feel and talk to the people, meet with them. And it's interesting. Present pictures from the Hubble telescope or from James Webb telescope. Just in a transition of those pictures, different colors. For small kids, you don't need no narration needed. It's just music. But also other people may just enjoy looking up to the sky and looking into strange images of deep space and the beauty of the cosmos and the beauty of your culture. Change, maybe you can crossfade. So it's all about beauty, I think, the planetarium and our world, and make them aware, their senses aware, make them aware about how wonderful it is to open the eyes, listen, and to look up. Up is the way, up. And then they can look down again on the ground when the show is finished.
Check your step. Wonderful, Thomas. You're always full of ideas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, before we finish, Marwan, let's have your traditional photo. صورة جماعية يا شباب.
Group photo, Thomas.
لطفا من الجميع, please open your cameras, guys, everyone. With Thomas, the expert in planetarian. Okay.
افتحوا كاميراتكم يا شباب. صورة
كل
جماعية.
يفتح
Please,
الكاميرا.
thank you, Thomas.
It'll be good to see you all, really. But I know if you don't, if you like or have your picture that symbolizes your presence, also would be nice. And
Okay, so
it's a great honor.
some arrangements. some
Thomas, our colleagues will
arrangements.
send you a link of this recording lecture within 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Thank you.